Right. You know I like the style where you got days. So won't you back it up on me? I love the way you whine in your pop waist. Don't tease till it making me your knees. So smooth when you move to the groove in the truth, baby. Back it up on me. Yeah, I love the style where you got days. So won't you back it up on me? This a girl a whine in a time. I move around like she don't have no spine. The next.
When you are coming to Liberia, the first thing you think about is getting your way in and around the city. Now, you don't need to worry about that because LIB Executive Shuttle has that covered for you. We have our luxury private and share ride options, scheduled airport services, business or corporate travel, daily rental in and around Monrovia. Or if you want to take a trip to Kakata, Ganta, Buchanan, Banga, LIB Executive Shuttle got you. Our excursion packages include trips to Patawi Waterfalls, Sunset Beach, or Wuka Farms. We are located after Carver Mission Junction, RRA Road, Pinsville, Monrovia, Liberia. For inquiries, call cell numbers 0770 072 614 or 0770 072 613. Better still, call our USA number on 001 301 750 1336. LIB Executive Shuttle. Let us do the driving for you. They say a home is where the heart is. That's why at Melrose Suites, we provide a conducive and safe environment for your long and short-term stay. With our 6 fully furnished luxurious apartments of 3 bedrooms each, our customers have the option of renting a full apartment or single bedroom. We also have standard rooms and king suites. At Melrose Suites, we have 24-hour electricity, cold and hot water, cable TV, internet service, and fully air-conditioned rooms. Melrose Suites takes the pressure off its customers with our fully equipped kitchens, living and dining rooms, as well as balconies. All you need is your personal belongings and enjoy your stay. We are located on Silver Beach Road in Dwazon, Lower Margibi County. For reservation, call our US number 610 986 1077 and our LIB number on 0777 588 118. You can email us at edithwaters111@gmail.com. Melrose Suites, a home away from home. It is often said any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. That is why I introduced to you a company with magic, SM Group Incorporated. SM Group Incorporated is an internet technology company that provides the best quality and cheapest internet services, including IT management services, supplies of IT equipment, networking, mobile app and software development, structural cabling, and web design. We also develop POS cash register system for small businesses like mini-mart, supermarket, restaurants, and bar, hotel management software for reservations and online booking. SM Group Incorporated installs biometric systems that include hotel door locks and access control, database, CCTV security, and motion sensor system installation with 24/7 monitoring and cloud backup storage with mini solar backup power system. Coming soon is the SM Group SASE-Net, which will deploy hundreds of Wi-Fi hotspots across the city with high-speed, affordable broadband internet service for less than $100 Liberian dollars. For more information, visit our website at www.smgroupincorporated.net or email us at info@smgroupincorporated.net or call cell numbers 0777 881 881. We are located at the intersection of Kerry and Center Streets in Monrovia.
Baby, calm down.
Pinter One of Delaware. Yes, it's Pinter One of Delaware, the name that counts when you talk quality painting works. For more than 2 decades, Pinter One has brought more life and vigor to thousands of residential and commercial complexes with our quality painting services. Give your homes, offices, bars, stores, hospitals, shops, etc. that look they deserve by choosing Pinter One of Delaware. For more information, call us on phone number 302 508 3034. Again, 302 508 3034. or visit our website at pinterone.com/Delaware. Or better still, email us on ivan@pinterone.com or holly@pinterone.com. Schedule a free estimate and get 10% off by using the promo code Costa. Pinter One of Delaware. Renew your space, renew your life.
She dey give me small, small, I know.
Peter Massaquoi Insurance Agency is the name that counts when you talk quality and affordable insurance services. Located in central New Jersey, Peter Massaquoi Insurance Agency provides homeowner insurance, commercial and business insurance, auto insurance, life insurance, and a lot more. We partner with over 20 top-rated companies to ensure we provide affordable pricing and quality services to our clients. Not only that, we also offer free financial planning consultation, and we are licensed in 20 states across the USA. At Peter Massaquoi Insurance Agency, our staff are well trained to handle all your insurance needs. Visit our website on www.pmassinsurance.com or call us on phone number 609-571-3037. That's 609-571-3037. Peter Massaquoi Insurance Agency, your low-cost insurance partner.
Do you need a car?
Ready for an upgrade?
Then come to Sika Motors, sole distributors of Toyota vehicles, Mitsubishi vehicles, and Yamaha motorbikes, genuine accessories and spare parts.
You name it, we have it. We have the 2022 brands of Toyota vehicles. Select from our new Toyota Starlight,
Toyota Belter, Toyota Rush.
We've got the best deal in town. Through our Sika Motors financing schemes with selected banks, EcoBank Liberia and UBA Liberia, starting at the lowest as 500 USD. You won't believe these prices. Come for quality, reliability, and durability. Take a spin and let's make a deal.
Sika Motors on the UN Drive at Town, Bushra Island, or call Sika Motors on +231 775 987 758 or email cmarketing@cfao.com. Sika Motors, drive with confidence.
We all know the headache we go through sending money to our loved ones, friends, and family in Liberia. High fees, long lines in banks, the usual complaint of the system being down, such a waste of time and energy. That is why I was very happy when I learned that SendWave is now in Liberia. So now I can send money anytime from anywhere directly from my smartphone to the MTN Lone Star Cell mobile money account of a loved one, friend, or family within seconds for just a tiny fee. So download SendWave now to your phone from your Apple Store or Google Play Store. Add your details, and don't worry, they are very safe and secure, and start sending money today. Don't forget to insert the promo code COSTA to get free $5 credit added to your first transfer. SendWave is secure, super fast, and by far the most affordable way to send money to Liberia. I'm Henry P. Costa and a very happy customer. Thank you.
Cost?
What's up? Morning.
I'm okay. And you?
Can't complain. What's going on? Where's Buckeye?
Poga is on your way. Tito the heavy rain.
Okay. Hold on. Let me. Okay, folks. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Today's a beautiful day, and we're very glad to be here. And it is the 14th day of July 2022. The time is 6:30 a.m. 6:30 a.m. in the United States, the eastern seaboard of the United States. And the time in Liberia is 10:30 a.m. And we are here this morning as usual. Very glad to be here. As always, very glad to be here. Okay, So what's going on, folks? Now, several things. Several things. Oh, I forgot the financial crimes. There's some good news to celebrate. You know, in government, you hardly have positive news to celebrate, but we do. The Financial Crimes Unit, the FIU, headed by a very fine and effective professional gentleman, Mr. Edwin Harris, as the Director General. Yesterday, they turned over to the government of Liberia. Of course, they are an agency of the government, but they turned over to the central government. That would be, I believe, the Ministry of Finance, the amount of $284,000. Money they confiscated, they seized. Let me use a simple word. Money they seized from money launderers. These are criminals who are some of the launderers. We talked about them here back some months ago. They seized that money from money launderers, people who do illicit financial transactions, trying to clean their dirty money. One of them is called Kolani Investment Group. Kolani Investment Group, or Kolan, or whatever they call Kolani or something. But they seized that kind of money. And they seized this money from two different illegal criminal money laundering organizations. So the FIU reported and turned this money over yesterday, and it was public. 284,000 United States dollars as what you would call FOC, fruit of crime. We want to congratulate the Financial Intelligence Unit of the government of Liberia, particularly its Director General, Mr. Edwin Harris, who's doing a great job. He enjoys the support and the confidence of the United States government because the Americans, oh my God, you cannot play with the Americans and their war against money laundering. Money laundering is such a major problem because that is how the criminals, the drug dealers, terrorists, and people who are involved in all kinds of criminal activity, that is how they clean their dirty money. And so this Kolani group went to Liberia, set up shop, opened bank accounts with every single commercial bank in the country, and they were just receiving dirty money and putting these dirty monies in these bank accounts and just cleaning them, cleaning the dirty money. And they were doing that for a long time until the FIU busted them, and this is what we have. 284,000 US dollars turned over to the government by the Financial Intelligence Unit. Congratulations. I can see that the confidence reposed in the FIU is well placed. We hope that they stay on that track and continue to expose money laundering, continue to expose criminals. Now, some of you feel like, okay, whatever the central government does with that money, that's their business. I see my sister Mapu Hall saying, well, that money going to Jowia room. My dear sister, it's very possible that it's going to go to Jowia room, but that's not our concern. Our issue here is the FIU sees that money because it's dirty money, it's criminals cleaning their dirty money in our country. But is there a strong possibility that money might get stolen? Oh, the men will say that free money. The money not government, they're not government money. They will say that free money. They go eat that money, my dear. They go eat that money, blah, blah. So that one, that part, don't worry about that one. What happened to the money that? Oh my God, if people don't even trust that government, hey, you're damn right, my people. I agree with you. You can't trust them because they're not good. Now, fellow Liberians, we're still on the recast budget. Recast budget. So in the recast budget, listen to this. Listen to this. In the recast budget, the government has moved to replace, they were expecting money from ArcelorMittal Liberia. You'll recall, right? They were supposed to extend the ArcelorMittal deal, and from that deal, they were supposed to receive some money and blah, 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 blah. But guess what? That isn't happening anymore because the government decided, after collecting some initial money from ArcelorMittal, the government decided to walk out of the deal. And the government proceeded to do something else. What did it do? They went and signed a different deal with HPX. Yes, HPX. So the government went ahead and said, look, the money we put in the budget, the $25 million that we put in the budget that we were going to be expecting from ArcelorMittal, we want you to remove that $25 million in the budget. So now the $25 million in the budget that was supposed to be captured from ArcelorMittal is no longer going to be coming from ArcelorMittal because the government no longer wants to deal with ArcelorMittal. So guess what? The government is saying, replace the $25 million that we have projected we would be receiving or collecting from ArcelorMittal when we signed a deal with them. They deal to extend their contract and blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff. Remove that $25 million and replace it with $30 million that we're expecting from HPX. Perhaps you don't understand this. As ArcelorMittal, though many of you may be aware, I like to always go back to recap or to take people back to just bring them up to speed because some people are not aware or some people have very short memory span and they tend to forget. ArcelorMittal has been operating in Liberia since 2010 or thereabouts. They're very unpopular. People don't really like the way they operate, and the sentiments toward them are quite valid. However, ArcelorMittal is not all that bad because nobody is all that bad, right? Nobody is all that bad. Nobody can be 100% bad. We got good in us and we got bad in us. But listen, ArcelorMittal decided they wanted to extend their deal. And the government said, okay, fine. Then we want the rail that you have absolute control over, the rail and the port. We want you to give up absolute control over the rail and the port. ArcelorMittal said, yeah, fine. If we give up absolute control of the rail and the port, even though the exclusive control we have was given to us because we invested the money to rebuild the rail and to rehabilitate the port in Buchanan. The government, ArcelorMittal, agreed to give up absolute exclusive control of the rail and the port in exchange for the extension of the deal. Fine. We thought they had a deal, but we all were mad that the deal originally included keeping control of the rail and the port. But then they said, no, we will give it up in exchange for you to extend our deal. While they were negotiating, a company called HPX. HPX is in mining, but iron ore mining. But guess what? They are not operating in Liberia. HPX does not have any operations in our country. They're operating in Guinea. HPS secured mining rights to a portion of the Samandu project. The Samandu Iron Ore Mountain is a rich iron ore deposit right across the border from from Nimba in Guinea. It's right there in Guinea, just across the border. In fact, the iron ore there is one of the best grades of iron ore in the world. I don't know why God did that to us. The iron ore in Liberia is Physi grade, low grade, and right across the border in Guinea, the iron ore there is one of the best grades in the world. I don't know. On the Liberia side, the iron ore is Physi. On the Guinea side, the iron ore is one of the best in the world. Anyway, let me break this down for you. So guess what, folks? Guess what? HPX does not have any iron ore interests or holding rights in Liberia. HPX has an iron ore deposit or holding rights to a piece of the Samandu project, iron ore project, over the border in Guinea. But what does HPX want? HPX wants to flip the rights that they hold in that Samandu project to another company, and it's worth billions of dollars. They want to flip it. They want to move on. But to do that, whoever they're going to sell it to, they're going to sell or transfer ownership of their holding rights to. That company must have the rail must have the means of transport by which they can then exploit the ore from the Samedu, bring it over and ship it out of the country. Now, from the border inside Guinea, where their project is, where their site is, it's too far to Conakry, and there's no rail from there to Conakry, which is where the port is. So what are they going to do? They want to move the ore into Liberia by way of the rail, the ArcelorMittal rehabilitated, and then ship the ore out of Liberia through the port of Buchanan. So what does HPS want? You've got this piece of land right here, and the road to this land is owned or controlled by me. Now, in order for anybody to buy that land from you and build a house there, or whatever it is they want to build there, you have to ensure that I would allow that person to use my road in order to transport whatever they're going to be producing, or just going back and forth from their house that they're going to build on our land. So you're paying me the rights to use, or you're paying me for the right to use that road. So HPX is not trying to replace ArcelorMittal. HPS does not have any iron ore mountain in Liberia. HPS does not even intend to. HPS has a much richer, much more valuable iron ore deposit over the border inside Guinea. All they want is for the government of Liberia to give them exclusive right to the rail that ArcelorMittal rehabilitated at a whopping, perhaps that cost is inflicted, $500 million. $500 million is what ArcelorMittal said they spent to rebuild the rail. So HPS is saying to the government, we want you to kick ArcelorMittal out, and we'll pay you for that. And according to my sources, HPS put $10 million in Jeeps, SUVs. Liberian can say Jeep is SUVs, sport utility vehicles. They put $10 million cash in sport utility vehicles and drove that money from their office in Guinea into Liberia and came and turned the money over to Liberian government officials. Why? That money was given to the government of Liberia to say, do not do a deal with ArcelorMittal. Do a deal with us instead. We want the rail. Give us control of the rail. Kick ArcelorMittal out. Give us control of the rail. HPS doesn't want the rail and the port because they have a mountain or iron ore deposit or any holding rights to any iron ore deposit in Liberia. No, they don't, and they don't intend to acquire one. All they intend to do is to be given access so that when they are flipping their iron ore deposit over there in the Samedu, a piece of the Samedu project over to another company, they would be able to say, hey, we have secured exclusive rights to the rail and the port in Liberia for you to be able to exploit and transport the ore by way of Liberia. Are you understanding me? If you're understanding me, let me know you're understanding me. This is the nature of the deal. So HPX is not operating in Liberia. HPS does not want to operate in Liberia. All HPS wants is sabotage ArcelorMittal. And by doing that, I think they've already succeeded. Testament to the fact that the government of Liberia, in the recast budgets, has communicated to the legislators that the 30 million we had said, or the 25 million we had said we would capture from ArcelorMittal as signature bonus for extending the ArcelorMittal contract, we're asking you to scrap that, remove that, and instead replace it with 30 million coming from HPX. You see what HPS did? ArcelorMittal was supposed to give the government $25 million in this budget. HPS came and said, we'll give you 10 million cash. This is bribe money. This is money that goes to George Weah and his top people. That's a bribe money. They brought that money over the border in vehicle. And then ArcelorMittal is giving you 25. We will give you 30 million. So the government told the lawmakers, replaced the 25 million that was supposed to come from ArcelorMittal, replace it with HPX. Where does that leave the ArcelorMittal deal? The ArcelorMittal deal is done. The government is saying, to hell with ArcelorMittal. We're not going to do any deal with you anymore. We're doing deal with HPS because of two reasons. Number one, HPS brought $10 million cash to us. They drove that money across the border from Guinea and brought it to Liberia and gave it to the government of Liberia as bribe. Number two, what the HPS do? HPS is saying, ArcelorMittal is offering you $25 million in this year's budget. We are going to give you $5 million more. So the government wrote the lawmakers and said, hey, you know what? Replace the $25 million we were expecting from ArcelorMittal in this year's budget. Replace it with $30 million from HPS. Oh, is that not clear enough sign that the deal with ArcelorMittal is dead? It is dead. This is how these boys do business. Now, folks, if you were an investor and you wanted to come to Liberia, there's something called security of tenure. You go to a country, no matter how rich you are, no matter how powerful your company is, you rely on the laws of that country. You rely on the decency of that country to work. There's judiciary to work. There's sanity. There's sanctity, that's the word. The sanctity of the deals you do, the negotiations, the people you're negotiating with, you rely on them to be decent people, to uphold basic minimum standards, best practices. How can you be negotiating with me? We're going far. You abandon the deal without even informing me that you've abandoned the negotiation. Then you take money from another company. You sign a deal. Just like that. That is it for you, folks. That is it for you, folks. That is how bad these boys are. Now, do I really care about ArcelorMittal? I really don't. But guess what? This sends a bad message to people who want to come and do business in our country. It sends a bad message. First, you collect $10 million from HPX in cash. They said they had a crisis. They needed money quickly to pay salaries. They couldn't find the money. HPS was just sitting and watching. When they knew the government was at a very critical, they were in a very dire situation. They needed money to pay government salaries. What did HPS do? They capitalized on that. They put $10 million in pickup trucks and SUVs and drove it across the border and brought it to Liberia and delivered it to our government folks in cash. Because of that, ArcelorMittal, you're done. So fellow Liberians, I'm telling you, the ArcelorMittal deal will not be done anymore. The expansion ArcelorMittal said they would do, the new jobs they said they will create, those new jobs will not come because the deal will not be done. The government has signed the deal with HPX to give them exclusive rights to the rail. But there is going to be a problem. And now what is the problem? Ask me, say, what is going to be the problem? Who rebuilt the rail? Those of you who are familiar with the railroad was rebuilt by ArcelorMittal. The war destroyed it. So ArcelorMittal spent, according to them, and I don't think they spent that much. I don't believe they spent that much. According to ArcelorMittal, they invested $500 million to rehabilitate the rail from Nimba all the way to Buchanan. $500 million according to ArcelorMittal. Now, because of the money they spent, then the government signed a deal. The deal was that once you rebuild the rail, we will give you exclusive rights to the rail for the period of 25 years. Now, ArcelorMittal has gone, 15 years into their deal? They've got a remainder of 10 years. So that means ArcelorMittal still has exclusive rights to the rail because their contract has not changed or their agreement has not changed. Now, I still have 10 years left to have exclusive control of the rail. Then you leave that existing agreement and the government has signed a new agreement promising HPX to give them exclusive rights. Are you listening to me, folks? I leased your land for 25 years. The deal says that the road that leads to your land, the road that connects to your land, I will have absolute control to that road, because I will rehabilitate the road. I will grade the road. I might even pave the road. So for the 25 years that I'm operating that land or leasing that land, that road is going to be under my direct and exclusive control. Anybody else who wishes to use that land has to go through me. Even if you, the government, are bringing that person has to go through me. That is the deal we signed with ArcelorMittal. We give them exclusive right to the rail. You spend $500 million rehabilitating it, you will control it. Listen to me, folks. Listen to me. Now, that deal has not changed. ArcelorMittal has gone 15 years of that deal. How many more years they got left? 10 years. 9 or 10 years they've got left. What does that mean, folks? What does that mean? It means for the next 10 years, ArcelorMittal still enjoys, according to the agreement they signed with the government of Liberia, exclusive rights to the rail and to the port. Therefore, folks, where am I driving? Therefore, does any other company or can any other company have access? Folks, answer the question, folks. If you're following, does this make sense? ArcelorMittal signed an exclusive deal to operate the rail and the port for 25 years because they invested $500 million, according to them, $500 million to rehabilitate the rail. Now, the government has signed a deal with HPS because they offered them $10 million in bribe plus additional $30 million in as contribution to the national budget for access to the rail. Not just regular access, but exclusive access, which is what ArcelorMittal currently enjoys because of the 25-year agreement signed with the government for investing $500 million to rehabilitate the rail. Now, answer my question, folks. You are going to answer this question. Can the HPX deal work? How can it work when ArcelorMittal has still 10 years left on the original agreement with the government for exclusive control of the rail and the port? Can the deal work? You give me the land, I rehabilitate the road, you give me access, exclusive rights to the road for 25 years, I've got 10 years left, and then you sign a deal with somebody else to give them exclusive rights to the same road that I still have 10 years left on? Does that make sense to you folks? You see how these boys are bad? You see why the country is bad to come and do business? ArcelorMittal still has 10 years left on this deal. 10 years left. That is what ArcelorMittal has. 10 years left. Huh? 10 years. And then what do? You sign another deal. It's a conflict. My friend Ruben Benedict Tuopili, it's a conflict. Darcy Davis, it's a stupid move, as you rightly said. You don't leave a deal. You leave a tenant in your house. You told the tenant, you are in this house for 25 years. The tenant is still in the house. Then you sign a deal with another tenant to move them into the same house. How can it work? How can you leave ArcelorMittal in control of the rail? Now, ArcelorMittal is threatening that they're going to take us to arbitration in London. They're going to go sue us. HPX must be stupid because HPS must know that ArcelorMittal still has 10 years left on that deal to have exclusive rights to the rail and to the port. But the point about it is, forget HPX for being stupid and desperate. But let me tell you this. If the government of Liberia is telling investors to come to the country, is this how you do business? I still have 10 years left on my deal, and then you sign the rights over to another company? And you expect that I'm going to fold my hands and do nothing? It's downright criminal, my brother Pitt McKennedy. Downright criminal. You don't leave another deal that is still on the books. Then you sign another deal. Who does that? Who does that? Gangsters, criminals, idiots, money gobblers. They're the ones who do it. I mean, who's going to want to come to your country? As I started in the beginning of this discussion, I said there is something called security of tenure. when you go to a country to do business, you rely on the laws of that country, the legal infrastructure, the judicial system to protect you, the sanctity of the discussions, the negotiations, and agreements you sign. Amen. I mean, how can you be that bad? ArcelorMittal will take you to court in London and they will win in London. My people, just get ready. Our country is about to hire lawyers to go to London, and the lawyers don't come cheap. We're going to have to go to London to fight against ArcelorMittal, because you want to take ArcelorMittal's rail that they still have 10 years exclusive right to and sign it over to another company because they gave you $10 million in bribe money, and the evidence is right there. Look at the budget. They wrote the legislature. It's there. It's published in the local dailies. Front Page Africa carried the story. In fact, it says, replace the 25 million we were expecting from ArcelorMittal as contribution to the budget, replace it with $30 million for HPX. So you mean for $5 million more. Because what's the difference between 25 and 30 million? For $5 million more. And of course, the $10 million that you receive from the $10 million in cash as bribe money, which is unofficial, that you receive from HPX, you're prepared to risk the country's reputation as a country that does not honor its transactions, its agreements, its deals. You're prepared to harm our already tattered image abroad as a place to not go to do business. You're prepared to do that. You're prepared to hurt our country in this manner just so you can make a quick buck for yourselves. It's a bad deal. It's a breach of contract. Netanya Deba, it's a breach of contract. You don't sign one deal while that deal still has time left on it. Then you go and sign another deal for the same piece of property. Okay, the boys are criminals. Look, the boys are bad. Oh, the boys are bad. Now, and you know what they did? They didn't even have the courtesy to tell ArcelorMittal that they were not going to be signing their extension deal. Okay, fine. You don't have to sign ArcelorMittal's extension deal. Fine. But guess what? You don't get to sign over or to infringe on the deal that they already have with the country, which they have 10 years left on. You don't get to do that. You don't have the authority to do that because they gave you $10 million in bribe and they gave you extra $5 million over the 25. I mean, look, folks, look, this thing is just shameful. It's just sinful. It's sad. It's too sad. This is what you get when idiots run your country. This is what you get when criminals run your country. When a bunch of cinema swines who have nothing for themselves, they take over the country. This is what you get. And you Liberians, you better wake up and vote these jokers out in 2023. Wake up and vote them out. Get ready. Your country is about to be sued in London. They're taking us to arbitration, and ArcelorMittal will win because the deal is clear. ArcelorMittal has 10 years left on their deal. They will win. HPX will not be allowed to take control of the rail and the port. ArcelorMittal will win that case because the thing is simple. They still have 10 years left on the deal. You don't have to like them, but that's the deal we signed with them all those years ago. And you don't just undercut the deal because you want to make a quick buck for yourself. This is terrible. This is wrong. This is criminal. And when ArcelorMittal takes the government to court, as I've said in the past, and I would like to restate, I, Henry Costa, would be supporting them when they take us to court in London. I will be supporting them. For money business, you do bad deals that hurt the country. For money business. I got a call the other day, and I'm going to tell you this, from the Jordanian guy called Mohammed Stream. His last name is spelled S-H-R-E-A-M something. Stream. Mohammed S. Stream. He's a Jordanian guy. He called me the other day, hit me up on Facebook. He said, this is Mohammed. I'm a businessman. I want to speak to you. I'm from Jordan. I was like, okay. So I sent him my WhatsApp number and we started chatting. And then he said, I'm going to call you. He called me and he said to me, Mr. Costa, I know you from your country. I was in your country. It was my company that won the bid that was awarded a contract to take over ground handling services at the airport. They gave my company the contract. Listen to me, what that man told me. He said, Mr. Costa, I have all the documents. I said, but I know about this. I spoke about this. You remember some time ago, I told you there was a Jordanian company. The government had given the airport to the ground handling operations at the airport. Listen to this. Yes, that's the fella. And he got in touch with me. He said, Mr. Costa, I stayed in your country for a long time. I tried, after they signed the agreement with me, my contract is for 10 years. It's already gone 2 years. I've got 8 years left on the contract. After they signed the place over to me, then they kept telling me, wait, Miss Mohammed, wait, we'll give you the operations. Just wait. He said he waited for over 1 year. They would not give him the ground handling operations to run at the airport. He said to me, Mr. Costa, I have a long list. I will send you the list. All the people I paid money to, all the evidence. Hello, are you listening to me? The guy said he has a long list he's going to be sending me of all the people he paid money to. You see that Bishop Clay? You see Bishop Clay? George? Bishop Clay? The one who was the airport boss that Joey fired?
Yeah.
He said, that man, Mr. Costa, that man, he eat plenty of money from me. You know how the Lebanese people, I mean, the Arab people, when those of them who don't speak English very well when they're speaking. He said, Mr. Costa, the bishop. I said, yes, I know the bishop. He said, that bishop, he eat plenty of money from me. Plenty of money. Every time he come, I give him money. I give him money. I will ask him, Bishop, when am I getting the airport? When am I getting the grant? He said, he not give it to me. He said, you see the other people? The other big people in the government, close to the president, they eat plenty of money from me. I give them money. I got the whole list. I said, Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Mohammed will be sending me all the evidence. All the criminals he paid money to. Look, you sign over the ground handling operations to the man. You know what they did? They just awarded it to another company called NAS. NAS. NAS took over ground handling operations at the airport on January 1st, 2022. They signed it over to NAS. That's what they did. These boys are bad. Ooh, the boys are bad. The boys are bad. You see the bishop? Hey! Look, when Muhammad began to explain to me what the bishop did to him, he cried. The way he cried on the bishop's name in that call that we had made me realize the bishop ate the most money from him. He said, the bishop, I just give him money every time he want money. I just give him money. 50,000, 20,000. You know how Lebanese people can pronounce, or Jordanians or Arab people can pronounce, they can talk. They are enunciation. He said, Mr. Costa, I will give you all the evidence. I know you love your country. I want you to expose this. I said, Chineke. In fact, I come in to get in touch with my man. I will call the names of all the people. And you know what he did? As he was paying them the money, he was recording it. George, he was documenting it. All the big people in the government he paid money to, he was documenting it. As he pays their money, he writes it down. He was recording them. They didn't even know he was documenting everything.
Wow. To get evidence.
Yes. He was documenting everything. Yeah, bishop. You see all the people go to in the bishop league and where? Yeah, you call yourself bishop. George, how the hell you say you're a bishop? How the hell you say you are a bishop and you're collecting bribes? You're collecting bribes from people. You bishop, man. You bishop, man.
But you know that bishop, one of the person that very corrupt.
No, the thing too sad. The thing sad. I said, the man almost cried on me. The man said, Mr. Costa, I got tired waiting. They keep telling me, wait. We will give you the airport. Wait. He got tired waiting and he left the country. He still has his contract though. They signed it over to him for 10 years. Now they've given it to another company. How can you sign one contract and then sign another contract over that same contract? Only CDC government can do it. Only CDC government can do it. The man is giving me the document. Brother Mafia David, the man gave me the whole list. All the people he paid bribe to, the amounts of money he paid them on the different dates on which he paid them. He's giving me everything, all the evidence. I will expose it. The man called me. He said, Mr. Costa, I know you love your country. And this is why I come to you. I come to you. I want you to help me. Let's expose these people. I still have my contract. His agreement. He got the paper in your hand while they gave the contract over to another company called NAS. Jesus! Nangala. Hey, Liberia. The country is rotting. Rotting to the core. It is so sad. Bishop Clay, he was just there chopping the man money. Bishop Clay, that man cry on Bishop Clay knee were not even funny. The bishop, Mr. Costa, I gave him money, 30,000, 50,000, 60,000. I said, Nanga, oh. I will call Mohammed. After the show today, Mohammed will begin to send me the documents so I can begin to release the documents. All the people who ate Mohammed's money and never gave him the contract to do ground handling operations at the airport. He won the contract. They awarded him the contract, but they never gave him the operations to run. They never turned the operations over to him. Never. They ate his money. They made him sit in Liberia for a long time. Never got the operations. He got tired waiting. He said, Mr. Costa, I had to leave the country. And then they started threatening him. Hello? What did you just hear me say? They began to threaten Mohammed. And the man said he got businesses in other parts of the world. He said he had to leave. After they ate his money, they ate all that money, a lot of money from him. And then they began to threaten him. And so he left the country for fear of his life. Jesus Christ. You have absolute stupid gangsters running the country. Unsophisticated gangsters. They're the ones running the country. That is the truth of the matter. Go vote for them again. You go vote for them. Election coming. You think I will suffer? Does it look to you like I will suffer? I told you in 2017. I told you. I said, Poison and Kojolobo. I presented the two choices to y'all. Jolobo and Joseph Boagai. Now, you may not like Unity Party. You may not like them because of all the shit they did when they were in power. But guess what? Joe Boagai was different. And I said, this is like you saw me. You drinking the Jolobo may be better, but it's got medicinal properties. It's got healing properties. It will heal you. It's better, but it will make you well. It will make you well. But then you had a poison here at Jowia. Choose Jolobo and poison. Jolobo and poison. What are they? You chose the poison. Today, I'm going without. The country how, the country how. All day you're crying, the country how. I told you, Jolobo and poison. You see, I saw what I saw, and it was as if I was endowed with the gift of prophecy. And I told you all, this is poison. This is cyanide. This poison is so deadly. It will kill you. And you say, oh, we won't drink the poison. One of my men called Henry Conte. Henry Conte used to call the show. I'm a good friend from Broadville. Henry Conte used to call the show. Hey, my man Pedro. Hey, my man, I want to drink poison. In fact, he used to take the bottle when he likes to drink Guinness stout. That boy loves Guinness. I don't know why he loves Guinness like that. The way my man George loved the club beer, the last one, the Vuvuzela, the big bottle, Vuvuzela. That the one George well like. My man Henry Conte like the brown bottle, the Guinness. So what Henry, he's got a great sense of humor. So Henry Conte will sit down while he's at the place, sharp drinking a cold stout. He would take a piece of paper and he will literally write on the paper poison, P-O-I-S-O-N, poison, and he will put the paper on the bottle and put a tip on it to hold it. He will put a scotch tape or something to hold the poison. He will label the bottle poison, and then he will post it on Facebook and tag me in it. Pedro, I drink it poison. Then he will hold the bottle like this, literally. I mean, gesticulating the branded shit. He will hold the bottle like this. making sure that the label he put on the called poison, it shows, so you can see it. Then you'll be drinking it. Pedro, I'm drinking poison, man. Let me die. Hey, Joe, we are all the way. Today, when you talk about Joe, we are paying in for Henry. My brother Henry contact, he can get damn vet. He very is why he put up a poison. But you know, I have the last laugh. But no, it is not laugh last. I still feel sorry for my brothers and for my sisters because they are suffering. They are suffering. They are suffering, oh. They're not small suffering, they're suffering in the country. Yeah. But let's move on to something else here. So the Senate, the legislature has taken a number of actions. They have proceeded to revoke the tenure clauses for each of the following government agencies and parastatals. The Maritime Authority, where Len Eugene Nangbe is. You know why Eugene Nangbe Vewa Delon, he be attacking Delon if you there? I will tell you why. Eugene Nangbe was the Minister of Information. He said no chopping there. So after James Colley resigned from Maritime, he asked Joe we had to appoint him to Maritime because the Maritime at the time had a clause, a tenure, 5-year job. You go inside, you're protected for 5 years. It's a 10-year position. So Joe, we are saying Eugene Nangbe to Maritime. Eugene said he want to make money now. You know, he tired chopping. He want to make real money. So he goes to Maritime. Listen to this. Thinking that the Maritime job, a 5-year job. So even when we beat them in 2023, we can't there, you say we'll still keeping in that job. That was that Sanama Swan way drive for that what he thought that the tenure would protect him and he would still keep his job. 5-year job, Maritime, but I don't know, 5 or 6 years. So Eugene goes to Maritime. He begins to drive the big cars and traveling all these big trips, the Padimes and all the money there, all that chopping. The salary is even better than what he was making at the Ministry of Information. Eugene relaxed. He got a 5 or 6 year job, relaxed. Then Delon then go take the Maritime Act and they go remove the tenure from there. Say, and the tenure yet, we take it off. No tenure benefit. So that means anybody, anytime the president can fire you, oh, Eugene get fired. Just when Eugene thought he had a reliable, secure job for 6 years, Dylan then go tell a man tenure from the job and made a job, a regular job that they can fire him from. Man, people, it are you that kind of thing that you yourself will not get fired with Dylan. And the reason why the man fell with Dylan, why they must move a tenure from his job. They not only Maritime the Director, they went to knockout. That like Bia, Safa make grade. Bia, Pelemegas on a bread, they call it Bia. They went to knockout, Safa make grade and all get tenure. Can you imagine? Safa make grade, all get tenure. So they went there to the move the tenure. They move it from that. Just the way on Nissan, we had to move the tenure. They move the tenure from her own job. So any day somebody can fire her. Then they go to LTA. The LTA people who the telecommunication people, those Salama Swan and that's more money they can eat on it. They go to LTA, they look at it alone, they say, hey, tenure. They haul it. They haul it from there too. They haul the tenure from there. Then they go to what the other place need? The lotteries, that one work, they can manage the lottery. Yeah? You buy the lottery ticket and you know, no Bonsuwe they get tenure. Oh, no Babble then, they all get tenure. They go there, they haul it for. So no more tenure all the time. So a heading Eugene Nangbe, that like a tenure job he had, they not take it from him. No more tenure. Oh yes, Blamato, yes. It will affect the current appointees, those who are there now. Yeah, they will not have tenure. So that means anybody can fire them. You can fire them anytime. No more tenure, no more a secure 6-year job or secure 5-year job. They will remove, yeah. Because you see, they are on a certain positions that tenures were created for by the Constitution. The National Elections Commission, for example, they have tenure. The GSC, the General Auditing Commission, they have tenure. Down there at the Constitution that created a tenure. So you can't test it. But all the maritime, local, LTA, national lotteries, all the places there with the tenure, they're all from there. They took it from there. George, let's go to the phone lines and take some calls there. You're listening to the Costa Show. We're supposed to be interviewing a very, very, very interesting young man, very accomplished. I have here a document, MOTC, that company that Ellen Johnson Sirleaf's late son, Gene Sirleaf, was a bad guy. They say you can speak bad of the dead, but all about were bad, I will speak bad of him. Gene Sirleaf, that company they ran, MOTC, which they used to destroy Amos Brochures and his company, Duco Petroleum. They recently filed for bankruptcy. They've taken loans. They filed for the bankruptcy after they took loans from all the commercial banks in Liberia except UBA. Abraham Katie said I should stop talking about the man. You know, hear people talk good about Hitler. Now, your black people can do all that nonsense here. Hitler was a bad man. He orchestrated the worst human misery in the world. The worst. 6 million European Jews exterminated, annihilated. And they can still talk bad about him today. But your black people, when people die, when they die, you can't talk bad about them no more. Gene Sirleaf was a bad boy. He was a very bad guy. And it was not just because he's dead, does not mean I'm going to do what they call revisionism. You know what revisionism is? Something happening way back. Now, in the future now, or in the present, you want to revise and edit and truncate and distort history. I will not do historical revisionism. I will speak of him as I spoke of him when he was alive. Gene Sirleaf was a bad boy. He is the one that he and those Belgian guys used to destroy a Liberian man who was doing very well in business. Just like you, ABK, you're a very fine businessman, doing great in your country. You see the boys at LPRC? They can't get your product, 1.3 million gallons of petroleum. They can't find it. They destroy him. What a little brochure was worse than what you're even experiencing. And I would never, never, never stop talking about that. What they did to him, I'm not comparing James to Hitler. That's not what I'm doing. I'm basically saying he was bad. Not on the same gravitas and skill as was Hitler, but he was bad still. Bad, just like his mom. Bad ahead. So, MOTC has filed, and for those of you who don't know what MOTC means, Monrovia Oil Trading Company, MOTC, that's what it stands for, MOTC. They are the ones that went and laid that illegitimate claim on Brochures' company, Duco Petroleum. And they seized the man's thing, and Eva Mappin Morgan froze the man's account, took the money, and did all that stuff. And today, they destroy Amos Brochures. They have filed, I got all the documents here. They have filed bankruptcy. They took loans from all the banks except UBA. I've got the bankruptcy document right here. This is a copy of the petition they filed to the court that they are bankrupt, that they're going bankrupt. You didn't take everybody's money now, then you say you bankrupt. Hello? Tell them whose ability. You not take everybody's money, then you say you bankrupt. These Sanamas one, they are hell of a. So we're going to go to the phone lines and take some calls there. You're listening to the Costa Show, watching the Costa Show. Today is the 14th of July, 2022. The time in Monrovia is 11:20 a.m. The time in Delaware on the eastern seaboard of the United States of America is 7:20. And I am Henry Pedro Costa. I do not mince my words. I call a spade, and I do not give a damn about how you feel. You know, I'll tell you a story. There's a guy who works at LPRC called Colashus Double. Colashus Double. I have a story about George Weah I will explain to you. It will shock you. It will sicken you to your stomach. I have all the evidence. Every piece of evidence I have, I will break that story to you. I'll break that story today. But you know, it's so sweet and so juicy and so sensational So you know what? I can't discuss it on this platform right now. It will take away after having discussed so many other things. It will distract from that. I will do an exclusive podcast just to break it to you. A juicy so it's a juicy bombshell. You know, some bombshells are deadly, but some bombshells are juicy. And I think Librarian put the juicier one than the deadlier one. So I will give you the juicy bombshell about George Weah. And it's got to do with woman business. How he had a young man fired from his job in the government because of woman business. One mulatto girl called Princess. She lives in Mount Barclay. She drives a Toyota. She works at LEC. Fine girl. They call her Princess. The young man took Jawia to court. Took the place that fired him, took them to court. And guess what? He won the case and they settled. For Jew business, president get up from your office and go all the way to the government office and say, you're fired, man. He loving to my girlfriend. Marry me. President, who that marry me? They fired the young man. The young man said, oh, that nonsense that I will sue you. He sued them. He won. They settled. They pay him 18,000 US. That's small money, but at least he got something. I will bring it to you. I got all the evidence. Every piece of evidence, I got all. They don't hear that. Not just, oh, they say. I will give you dates. I will give you this. I will give you that. I'll give you all. For woman Bennett, somebody probably knows the girl. Her name is Princess. She's a mulatto girl. She works at LEC. She drives a Toyota. I don't know what is an SUV. I don't know what it is, but it says she drives a Toyota. She built a house to Mount Barclay. It's like Jawia built a house for her. He had this young man fired from his job because the man is loving to his girlfriend. President firing somebody for loving to his girlfriend. A married president. My people, a married president. I will give you all the information, man. I will give you everything, man. Everything I will tell you. George, let's go to the lines. Yeah. Let's take some calls.
Okay. Good morning.
And I girlfriend, my brother, you will not hammer that Jawia girlfriend. And
good morning.
Adam Straight Cat, she didn't tell
me. Yes, good morning, Josh. Good morning to Costa.
Good morning, my brother.
Yeah. Morning, Frank Gibson.
My name is Frank Gibson. I call from Paris.
Let's hear you, Frank. What
Thank you very much. You know, Costa, I like you. You are very good at your job. But I'm sometimes baffled.
But be baffled is a good thing.
That you, Costa, criticize the other time. You are now pressing that deal because the government assigned deal with another company.
But the deal is bad.
The RIA. You, Costa, advocated here that the government of Liberia is trying to get the RIA to terrorist group.
I did say that. I did not say to terrorists. I said people who possibly could be. Listen to me. Frank Gibson, hold on. Frank, I didn't say.
Yeah, I'm listening, Costa.
I didn't say the deal in itself, in principle, was bad. I said the manner in which they went about the deal was bad. I said they didn't conduct a comprehensive competitive bidding process as is required by law. That's why I said I exposed the deal. And Frank Gibson, hold on.
So let's go back to the accelerometer deal.
Okay, let's go there. No, hold on. Before we go to the accelerometer deal, Frank, hold up. Before we go to the accelerometer deal, agree that I did not say the deal was bad in its entirety. I said the conduct, the way they went about awarding the contract to him was not consistent with our laws. Agree to that. Make that concession.
Liberian people were informed that the government of Liberia is giving a contract to terrorists at the RIA.
I did not say terrorists. I said, for all I care, they might as well be people with terrorist ties. That's what I said.
Okay,
so terror organizations.
So let's put that to rest. I want to go back to the accelerator deal. Everybody advocated and called on the Liberian legislature to reject the accelerator extension deal. That was all in the news of Liberia, including you, Costa, supported that particular call.
And why did I oppose the ArcelorMittal deal? I oppose the ArcelorMittal deal.
Listen.
I oppose the ArcelorMittal deal because I wanted the exclusive rights
after certain years. So if the government of Liberia finds out that those deals are not working well, for the interest of everybody in Nipa County complain ArcelorMittal that they are not living by those agreements. Everybody in Nipa County, you take the microphone now, people were complaining about ArcelorMittal for the last 15 years. They are not abide by those agreements.
Okay, Frank Gibson.
Frank Gibson, hold up. What did I say about the ArcelorMittal deal? I said it was high time that the government of Liberia negotiated with ArcelorMittal so that ArcelorMittal would no longer have absolute control over the rail and the port. That's what I said. And I maintain that. Yes. Do I understand that ArcelorMittal invested $500 million in rehabilitating the rail and the port? And in exchange for that, ArcelorMittal was given exclusive rights to the rail and to the port. I do understand that. However, the deal ArcelorMittal wanted was for an extension. They wanted to continue to have the rail and the port for an additional 15 years. And I said, no. They already have 10 years left on their current deal. So if you must extend their deal, it's all fine and good, but do not give them another 15 years exclusive control of the rail and the port. That's what I said. And then ArcelorMittal said, ArcelorMittal botched, and they said, okay, we can remove exclusive control of the rail and the port to allow other players, other actors have access to the rail and to the port in exchange to incentivize the government to extend their deal by 15 years. They made a concession. The concession was we will give up our exclusive right to the rail and to the port so you can sign our deal. You understand? So you can sign our deal. That is what but we'll take a few more calls and we'll take, we have a young man here, we'll be taking a very fine young man with an inspiring story. His name is Dennis Grandpa Japa. We will take Dennis very shortly. Dennis is currently in the United States. He is the proprietor of Denvera Medical Laboratory and Clinics. He's a 2022 Mandela Washington Fellow. He's currently in the United States as a Mandela Washington Fellow, brought here by the United States government under the Mandela Washington Fellowship Program. He is an extraordinary young man with an even extraordinary with a fantastic story, a remarkable story. So we will speak with Dennis very shortly. He's already in the back room. George, let's take 3 more calls there, and we will take our guest, Mr. Dennis Grandpa Japa, and his story will just blow you away. Let's take some calls.
This morning.
Good morning.
Look, the Liberian people, our eyes have to be open. Metal Steve, we said Metal Steve, some of the deals, the people were crying there, it was bad. But for you to leave Metal Steve with 10 years and go another contract to another company, and we could be sued for that. And because we know that the government is not going to go back. So the government is doing every other thing to strangulate the next government to come. The guys are wicked and constant. Let me just tell you, they're going to something that was valid to Freeport, Monday that was valid to Douala. Yesterday, they were valid on Broad Street, and those are not grown-up people. These are not crazy people. These are people from regular family, and this thing is happening, and the security is shooting all around the place every day. Where the people going through now, Costa, I don't know. From now to next year, like people will live in a complete fear because the guys don't have time. They just doing things all of the way. They don't want to. Sabu Union now is having gone, moving in the street. Everywhere you go, they in the neck or whatsoever, they just putting on arms, and they can kill anybody anytime. At the end of the day, 2023, we'll see them back on the street. This is a difficult metaphor. It will harm us. Like when people will pay for it because of the one wicked government got into power, and all people are hearing and say, "Oh, 2023." Somebody say people are talking 2023. They will be moved by one bag of rest with 20 or 30 that are in for the next 6 years. We're going through it. We're saying that yes. But 2023 again, they see people will be fooled by the money that president we have been printing. Send the government, the government that printed the highest money. Send like they have no government. This government, the only government that printed the highest money in this country. And we're seeing it going through every day. They say, oh, Ellen, let the country grow. Ellen, let the country grow. But every day you print it, every election you bring on Nino. Now they're wasting the money in Nima country. New money in Nima country that's so crazy. Thank you for the show, Costa. We'll follow to see the podcast.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you, DJ Lomé. We'll take one more call and then we'll go to our guest, Dennis Grandpa Japa.
Okay, 07. Okay. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Pastor Kamara. Good morning, Costa. Good morning, the Labrador people.
Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Pagomo.
Baka, I'm telling you, this government, make it see to you, is a fraud and the money what they grab them with. It's criminal government and the money what they're taking down and share with the Senate, the representative there, 30 grand. That's some of the money I can't agree with. Loan to 100,000. That one I can't agree to front, the one to so let me tell you, this government, this CDP-led criminal government, they are not for Labrador interest. They are not for nobody interest. They think a racist country, somewhere to where criminal said, get imagine in Janta listening. They said to go for retreat. President can what you see and tell the people, all the cabinet ministers will speak 5 minutes. Any cabinet minister can give 5 minutes, the whole 4-year wait, so he went for campaigning to make more out of Labrador people. And we stupid, the Labrador are stupid enough, we will make sure we deal with it and we will get it through out. Other than criminal, the other one by. Better still deal. They don't with it. They get the telegram. I can't get room to 100,000. That way you go get my way. So Labrador not for anything. They value floating. After it's floating, everybody sleeping in hunger here. Or say become fanatic of religion. If you not fanatic of citizens, you will never even who red, who fool, who will suffer in this country. Well, we look for it. That's what God gave us. And make us get it. Anybody that we election, he will become a leader. Look at MPRC. Look at the
Okay, Pagombo.
All right, Pagomo. Thank you very, very much. Dennis. Welcome. Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna take the slide. You're gonna take that down a little so people can see your face. We initiate a conversation, and then at some point, then we'll do that so you can do the demonstration. Let's do that. Good. We'll come back to it. We'll come back to it. But I want people to see you first. Dennis Japa. Good morning and welcome to the Costa Show, fellow Liberians. I'll tell you a little bit about Dennis. Dennis got in touch with me on WhatsApp about a year ago just to tell me about the great work that he does, and just very fascinating. His story is incredible. But I will let him speak to you just a little bit. So Dennis and his wife, they own and operate a medical clinic in Sino County, which primarily focuses on providing medical services to women and children. They established this clinic on April 6, 2021. And to date, they have provided medical services to over 6,000 persons. That's incredible. On June 27, 2021, they made and published a short documentary of their work that they've been doing. They published it on Facebook, on their Facebook page. And the clinic has a Facebook page. And the page is called Den Vera, Vera, V-E-R-A, Den Vera Medical Laboratory and Clinics. And they pleaded with people for assistance to support their work. This is just incredible. Follow this. Now, among other pleas that were made, we appeal for standard medical beds as the beds they're currently using at the clinics were beds made of local materials, wood and nails. And on occasions, the bed have crashed under the patients while receiving medical treatment. Imagine that. They're using beds that are not medical beds, the ordinary beds. On November 15, 2021, ELW Hospital Administration donated 10 medical beds to the clinics. Incredible, incredible. 10 medical beds. Those beds are currently in their possession here in Monrovia, but they are yet to transport the beds from Monrovia to Sino County using big commercial canoes. Now, they are using canoes because the road to Sino is extremely deplorable. The roads are bad. They have to use canoes to take the beds to Sino. Now, to transport a bed, they have been charged $50 to transport each bed. So to transport all of the beds, the 10 beds that they received, is $500 for 10 beds donated to them by, look, this is just incredible. We're gonna, first of all, the first thing we're gonna do today, we're gonna get those beds transported to Maryland County, to Sino. 10 beds, the canoes, they're charging them $50 to transport 10 medical beds donated to them by ELWA Hospital. The beds are already in Sino, but guess what? We're gonna pay for the beds anyway. Yes, he just messaged me to say the beds have already been transported to Sino, but the cost of transport was $50 per bed, 50 times 10, that's $500. But we're gonna raise, we're gonna pay for that. This is something he got in touch with me a while back about this, and I'm sorry I get too many messages I didn't get to. He sent me the message on the 7th of December 2021. I have ever since sincerely apologized to Dennis that I have not been able to help until now. So Dennis Japa is here. He is a fellow with the Mandela Washington Fellowship Program. He's here in the United States. And a few days ago, I received an email from a big brother, very well-respected big brother of mine, Chris Neal. And he said to me, I would like to introduce to you a young man, a fine young man with an extraordinarily inspiring story, Dennis Japa. At the point, I didn't realize this is the same Dennis Japa who had been chatting with me. So I responded to the email. And then I said, Dennis, your story is inspiring. I looked at the website. I said, but I must know this Dennis Japa. I reached out to Dennis Japa, not realizing when I tried to reach out to him on WhatsApp, and I realized that I already had his WhatsApp, that we had already been chatting, but I didn't do much. I could have done a lot. I didn't do. So Dennis, we will make up. You had reached out to ask us to help raise $500 to transport 10 medical beds from Monrovia to Sino. We didn't do that. We will do it this morning. Right here on this platform, we will do that. So Dennis Japa, good morning and welcome to the Costa Show.
Good morning, Big Brother Henry, and good morning to Waka and the other fellow there. I see the name is Waka, but that is not Waka.
Yeah, but George is sitting in this morning. Waka couldn't make it.
Right. And good morning to the Liberian people across the globe. I'm excited to be on this platform. Before I begin, I would just want to say a little stuff that, when I came to the States, I'm currently in the States. I'm in Iowa as a Mandela Washington Fellow, and I visited the Bible Shack. And back home, we cut our hair for $500 to $1,000, and then I'm told Liberian dollars, and I'm told by this Bible that I have to pay $50 US to cut my hair. So I made a commitment that I'm going to take my hair back to Liberia and I'm going to cut it there. So sorry, I don't have my hair all shaved and all of that.
$50 US, Dennis, is what you needed to transport one bed by canoe.
And that's why I'm being charged to cut my hair, which was going to do. I couldn't afford to do that. But thank you so much, and I'm excited to be here. I've always asked for a platform. I've always reached out to you. I also believe in faith. I believe there is time for everything. And who knows, this is actually the best time that I am here to be able to talk about what we do, the impact of what we've done, and how what we have done has led us to where we are right now. And, further expose what we do and reach out to the life.
Dennis, your story is nothing short of remarkable and inspirational. First of all, what made you and your wife, Vera, by the way, she's watching. She said, I'm super proud of your husband. She's watching. Dennis, what made you and your wife, Vera, start a clinic, of all things? And then in Sino County, too, all the way up there in Sino. What made you go into a clinic?
So I was born in Sino.
Okay.
I'm from Sino originally. I was born October 16, 1989. My mother explained to me when she gave birth to me that when she was pregnant for me, I am the first child for my parents, and so there's an excitement when you have your first child. One of the things that they were wishing for was to see their son while they were pregnant, and at the time there was no ultrasound machine in the county, and the health system was at the time was very poor, and I'll come to what it is right now. And so my mom gave birth to me in the home of a traditional midwife. A traditional midwife is someone who has little formal education and use traditional practices to perform deliveries. And so my mom gave birth to me at the home of a midwife who, on a very rough table covered with bloodstains from previous deliveries, cockroaches, and a lot of bad odor in the room. That experience my mom went through made her to believe that she was never going to have a child or any of her children back in a rural community because of what she experienced. And so she and my dad had to travel from Sino to Monrovia, where my other siblings were birthed. And that story was explained to me when I became of age. And then 25 years after, I visited Sino for the first time. And interestingly, exactly what my mom explained to me 25 years ago, during the time she was giving birth to me, were still existing. Those issues had even gotten even more. The population has grown, and people across the county were facing enormous challenges as it relates to the health system of our country. And there and then I committed myself to be able to do something that would transform the health system of rural communities. And so that is the drive. That's why we started to connect.
That's incredible. So, I mean, to start a clinic. And by the way, folks, when you go to the website, let me put the link right here. Dennis, what's the website is www.denvera.
TVMLC. The website is, let me just type it in.
Yeah, send it to me. So the website is there. And then Dennis is going to do a little demonstration for us. Dennis, now is but let's talk about how you got the Mandela Washington Fellowship, how you got into the fellowship. Let's talk about that, Dennis.
Well, so somewhere in August 2021, I got a message from Honorable Snow, he and I have a very funny story. I was once a student leader before in my district, in District 6.
District 6.
Yeah, and we have had some very tough exchanges during his tenure, and then closer to his tenure, we became friends. The end of his tenure, before he went to Bombay to contest as representative, then became senator. So I got a messenger message from him sharing the link from the U.S. Embassy about the fellowship, and I just clicked on the link. I sat right there in 15 minutes. I just filled out the form and submitted. It's interesting, Henry, that form for the fellowship. Thousands of people across the continent download the form, go and consult people, come up with a very good, convincing story
in order to apply.
Yes, but I did not do that. I just
you just acted on impulse right
exactly.
there and then.
In 15 minutes, I submitted my form and I was done. In December, I got an email that I was being shortlisted as a fellow. Now, the fellowship is basically named after Nelson Mandela. He started during the Obama's era, and the intention for the U.S. Government is to ensure that they can create a promotion for a platform that African leaders, youthful leaders between the ages 25 to 35, that are highly impactful and are doing things that are extraordinary, can be able to come to the States, learn, be exposed to the American culture and the American, do a lot of networking, and then go back to your country and continue to make more impact. So this year, there were over 45,000 applications across Africa. Liberia alone submitted 850 applications.
850 applications from Liberia alone.
Yes.
And how many people made a final cut?
18.
18.
18%.
850.
Yeah, less than 5% of the total number of figures, and it is a very transparent and very detailed application process. So if you are not innovative, if you are not impactful, and they have to do background investigation to be very sure that whomever that is elect, is highly valid and can be able to represent the country well. And so I was a part of the 18 that were selected from a very honest and transparent process. I believe if it wasn't transparent, I wouldn't have been here because I don't have anything. I just took 15 minutes to apply, while others took days and weeks and stuff.
To consult with other people to help them apply.
So it is because of, I'm very certain that it's because of the impact of what we've done. And I'm here in Iowa, along with 24 other Africans from 17 different countries. I'm the only librarian here at the University of Iowa. The others are spread across.
So which tracks are you on? Because they place you guys in different tracks, leadership track.
Yeah. So there are three tracks. We have leadership in business, we have leadership in civic engagement, we have leadership in public management. I'm here in the leadership in business, and so we've been taught and trained to be able to run a perfect business. Even though what I do is not my intention is not about business, it's about impact. But
which you're already making through the clinic, you and your wife.
Exactly. But I have to be able to learn about the business component so that we're able to sustain what
you're doing to continue to make the impact that you're making.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. And how long are you here for, Dennis?
So I'm leaving on the 3rd of August. The fellowship ends this week. I extended my ticket for 2 weeks. So I will be in between. I'll be at a friend's place, my closest friend, my best friend. Let me say it that way. I'll be at his place, and for the next 2 weeks before heading back home. Yeah,
that's incredible, Dennis. And you can say you've learned a lot in the time you've been here.
I've found myself. Let me just say it that way.
That's very good. You found yourself.
Yeah.
I think you already did that when you started Denver, you and your wife. But now, Dennis, let's go and let me put this up so that we can see the slides. Do a little demonstration for us, folks. That's the name of the clinic, Denvera Medical. I can see the Denvera must stand for Dennis and Vera, right?
Yeah, yes, that's mine. You know, for truth here, Henry, my wife is very supportive.
Good. Let's talk a little bit about her, please.
And you know, it takes a lot for your wife to be able to say, yes, this is of good vision. Let us all put all of our resources into this. I will allow you to be out of town.
I mean, our wives, and they always want other things, you know, but to have to make all this sacrifice for this is just incredible. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And so because of the impact she's made on my life and the support she's given me, I just thought it was better that we have a combination of our both needs on this.
Denvera Medical Laboratory and Clinics.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, Dennis. So go ahead and do a little demonstration. I'll do a little presentation for us.
All right, Henry. And to all of our people following, let me also say good morning. I'm very sure it's still morning all around. Even in Liberia, it's also morning. Like you've heard, I'm Dennis Chapter. I'm the founder and executive director of Denver Medical Laboratory and Clinics, a clinic that was started during the COVID crisis on the 6th of April 2020. And rural communities in Liberia have a population of 2.4 million. In general, Liberia has a population of about 5.5 million people. And 47.9% of that figure are people who reside in rural communities. And there's a growing population. And the source is the index model is on Google. You just have to click to be able to verify what I just said. Interestingly, the health system of our country depends on basically two service providers: the public, which is owned by government, and the private, which is we all know who own the other of a church or individuals. But about 80% of the population, especially those that reside in rural communities, depend on the public sector for health service. And interestingly, all of these, almost 90% of the health system or the health service provider, which are the public system, public hospitals, do not have medications and they do not have drugs. They also don't have equipment. And so it makes it very complicated that 80% depend on this sector for health services, and there are no medications and no drugs. The private facilities that are there do not have, they have some equipment, they have some drugs, but the cost for those services are very high. And so this creates a very complicated and chaotic environment that people have to source out health services in other avenues like visiting a herbalist, and everything in rural communities is basically it will be named as a witchcraft stuff, because there are no proper institutions that are able to diagnose and provide treatment for them. And so when we conducted a survey before starting the clinic for about 100 persons, with 100 persons, and we found out those things. And so we start a clinic that will offer these solutions, to offer very low cost in services, to have a hospital that have equipment and that have drugs available, and in an environment that is highly sanitary. You remember I mentioned that my mom gave birth to me in an environment that was very chaotic and covered with blood and all of that. And one of those things that are missing in health institutions is a sanitary environment. So the lady there is Mary. She's 36. She's seen smiling. She visited our clinic after she's a mother of 4 children. She's a farmer, and she basically, because of the farming that is done in Liberia, it is not a mechanized farming, so people have to use their hands and strength to farm. So they're not able to do much to raise a lot of resources that would end up, helping them to pay for different life services or things that they need. So Mary is saying smiling because she visited a clinic. That clinic is Denver Medical Laboratory and Clinic. That in the presence of her challenges, in the presence of her limitation in cash, she's able to receive treatment for her daughter in her hand. That's Beatrice. Beatrice also is one of those persons that visited our facility. Beatrice is 21. She doesn't work. She's a high school dropout. She's a mother of 2 children. She has no income. She's single. But even though Beatrice has all of these things, or all of these challenges, Beatrice is able to visit our facility and get treatment. And in your hand, there's a plastic in her hand. There are medications in those plastics. She just received treatment. So these are the kind of people that the clinic targets, people who are unable to afford for these services.
Low income people.
Yes, but they
The
need these
underserved,
services.
underprivileged.
And so what have we been able to achieve in the past 2 years, because we started on the 6th of April 2020? We have been able to provide medical service to about 8,000 persons, more than 8,000 persons within 2 years. We went through a competitive process where teachers, the public school teachers, were asked to recommend a hospital that would provide medical services to them. We were the ones that were recommended by this teacher because of the quality of services that we offered.
That's good.
Within 2 years, we've also been able to maintain and sustain the growth of the clinic. From our first year, we provided 2,800 plus persons. The next year, we jumped from 2,800 to 5,000 plus cases that we're able to see. So you see there is a growth in what we do, and we've been able to sustain what we have done without government support, without any NGO or grants, just on what we generate from the clinic and the quality of the services. We've been able to sustain what we have done over the past 2 years. This is the clinic in Sino. We are in a place in a community called TS Town, directly opposite the Catholic school. If you've been Sino, you will understand what I mean, the location that I just provided. This clinic is challenged in terms of equipment. We have yet also to begin delivery services, and that was the fundamental reason why I thought to start up.
That's what inspired the establishment of the clinic in the first place. The experience that mother had all those years ago.
Exactly.
But you're not doing that yet because you're challenged.
For 2 reasons. One, I don't have the resources to be able to start delivery services at the clinic. And 2, I needed to gain the trust and confidence of the community before I begin delivery services. You cannot begin delivery services when you don't have the proper equipment and you don't have the trust of the people, because it's about life. We cannot take a clinic that is going to save life and we start to create chaos. Because people in the interior setting or in the rural area, they are very mindful about who they go to and why. So if they don't trust you, they will not visit you. They have to take time to be trusted. So now that we've gained the trust of the community, and now that we know we have we are now prepared to begin the services, we believe that in order to begin deliveries, we must first get equipment. And that's what makes a health facility. A health facility is known because of the equipment that they have. And so what we need to do to be able to get to delivery is to be able to acquire some very important equipment. As we've seen over there's an equipment called an ultrasound machine. Interestingly, in the county of more than almost 200,000 persons in Sino. There, we basically don't. There's only one ultrasound machine in the county at the moment, and that ultrasound machine has been in the public hospital for over 8 years. And I personally, I don't have an ultrasound machine in at my clinic because of the cost of that. And an ultrasound machine costs 4,500. It helps for a lot of cases. There's also no X-ray in the entire county, and my clinic also need an X-ray machine. There's a machine called the ECG. It helps to do for the heart to be able to check the heart. We don't know whether there are issues with the heart. We also have a machine called the Hematology Analyzer. It's called the CBC. It helps to analyze the blood. There's a machine called the dry chemistry that helps to do HbA1c, prostate cancer, quantitative, and a lot of other chemistry tests. A microscope, the urine analyzer, and the chemistry analyzer. Another chemistry analyzer that helps to do liver function, kidney function, cholesterol, and the rest of the other chemistry tests. And to be able to summarize what we would need to be able to scale up
to scale up to full capacity or desired capacity.
Yes.
In terms of the services you want to provide.
Yes, and to be able to graduate to now begin to deliver services, we need to extend our lab and to have all of these equipment. So the extending of the lab is going to cost us 5,000. The total equipment cost is going to cost us 31,200. And so a total figure is 36,200. That is what we need to
get you to where you want to go.
To leave from where we are right now to get us to a point that even if you leave from the US and you go to Sino to visit and you are challenged with health, you have no worry about getting on car to go to work for the next day, because there is a clinic in Sino that is able to provide those services, not at a very high cost, but that everyone, regardless of whether you are a farmer, whether you are single, you can be able to come to a hospital and receive the quality of services that are needed, and you can go home to be a happy person. And if that is done, what do we expect to happen? There will be a jump in our revenue by 40%. We'll also be able to save enough to begin to deliver services. I don't have to go back every time to ask for help to begin another service. We'll be able to raise enough revenue to start delivering services. And on an annual basis, we'll be able to provide medical services to about 7,000 persons annually, at least. And what is the social impact for having a very good standard laboratory? There's going to be trust in the health system. And right now, there's no trust in our health system. People right now do not, even in Monrovia, it is very crazy. Imagine what happens in communities that are far from Monrovia. All right, so there's going to be trust in the health system. There's going to be reduction in delivery trauma. A lot of women would not have to be like my mom to say, I will have to leave from here because I don't want to face what I faced before during delivery and all of that. There will be reduction in infant mortality rate. There are a lot of death rates for women who go give birth back home, especially in rural communities. Those things are not publicly there, they are not said out loud, but it is really, really chaotic in rural communities. And there will be good health for our children, and there will be a happy and healthy community. This is my team. I have a medical doctor who's volunteering with us, and I have all of my physician assistant, a nurse, a laboratory technician. We have a staff of 13 persons, but this is the main team. And what does it take to be a proprietor? I'm sitting in the US and
is that you that then is covered up in mud?
Exactly. I'm sitting in the comfort of the US, sleeping on an air conditioner, sleeping. It seems like fun and it's enjoyable, but the reality here is, in the picture that's me. That I've arrived in Sano, the one on the left, on the both sides. I arrived in Sano about 10:30 in the night. That's how I transport drugs to Sano.
So wait, Denny, you yourself, you ride this motorcycle from Monrovia, loaded as we see there, with drugs, properly packaged and tied to the back of the motorcycle. And you ride it yourself from Monrovia to Sino.
Exactly.
From Monrovia to Sino is how long is that ride, Dennis?
So let me give you more details. So it takes 12 hours from Sino, Greenville to Monrovia on a bike. And a trip is going to cost me 24 hours because I have to take 12 hours to leave from Sino. I leave from Sino by as early as 6 in the morning.
Wow.
Come to Monrovia and get in Monrovia 6. I rest, purchase drugs, get them loaded, tie them on the bike, and then I have to go back to Sino with that as early as 5 in the morning. And sometimes I get Sino 5, something like that, 70, depending on the road condition. But I also say this that
And how long
within
have you been
2
doing this,
years,
Dennis?
within two
Since the
years,
inception of the clinic, this started?
within 2 years, I've made that trip 37 times.
37 times you've made that
Yeah,
trip.
and I've had 12. I have 12 accidents. I almost broke my leg in December
Oh my God.
because I mean, so if you follow up the president's county tours, one
Mhm.
of those places that he got off his convoy and allowed the drivers to pass was when he was on his way to go to Sinai. It's a very horrible road, especially between Buchanan to Sinai. There's no pavement. It's a road covered with mud, uh, hills, valleys. You cannot if you get on a car during rainy season, you might take up to a week to get in Greenville from Buchanan, which is basically if there's a
Now,
pavement.
now, Dennis, somebody would ask, why not somebody keeps saying here, Stanley Caller Jr. says, I have a brand new microscope in Liberia. If you need it, I can arrange for it. Stanley, are you kidding me? We need a microscope. Arrange for it already, Stanley. I mean, Stanley, thank you very much, there, Stanley. Listen, but Dennis, somebody will ask a question. Why not use commercial transport to take these things there? Why the motorbike?
So
I guess you have a good explanation.
yeah, so here's the thing. If you have to put the drugs on a car, on a commercial car where it is packaged in a way, and it's going to take you about a week. It's going to cost us a lot.
It's
The
not
transport,
so when the roads are very really bad during the rainy season,
it takes you up to a week.
it takes you up to a week
Yes,
by
and
commercial transport.
yes, and then the cost is very high. So what I need to do for this bike is to just fuel it. If
And the
I'm
bike is
using,
very
if I'm
economical on fuel.
exactly, so I use about 4 gallons to go to come from Greenville to go to Monrovia. But if
4 gallons from Monrovia to Sino
yes, but
and
if I'm
12 hours.
yeah, 12 hours. If I'm
Whereas
using
the vehicle would take you days or
yes,
up to
and
a
it's
week.
we're gonna pay almost 100,000 to transport just the drugs you see there. So if you
Jesus.
have to pay 100,000 for transportation, then you have to also be able to increase the cost of the medication, and which will affect the intent for the clinic because we cannot provide. That's why I said the private facilities are expensive because they don't cut up these areas that are important. You cannot pay 2,000 for a drug and pay 100,000 to transport it. Obviously, you're gonna you're gonna charge price that will gonna be high, and
That
that
would
is
be too
going to
expensive for the people. So
affect.
one of the ways by which you keep the fees for service low for the different services you provide is that you use this method to transport. It's grueling, it's difficult, but you transport it yourself to keep the cost low, right?
Exactly. But Henry, let me read this statement by the U.S. ambassador. On the 15th of March,
Wow, Dennis, this is inspiring.
on the 15th of March, the U.S. ambassador made this statement, and this statement was just made this year on the op-ed he termed as "What Would J.J. Rivals Say," and a lot of us, watched listen to that. But there's a particular part I want us to listen to. It says, 60 years after the arrival of the United States Agency for International Development used in Liberia, 19 years after the end of the civil crisis, and 7 years after the eradication of Ebola, the taxpayer of the United States contribute to this country over 110 million per year in foreign assistance. This includes 79 million per year donated to the health sector. Approximately 9 million is specifically for purchasing medications and commodities for the Liberian people and improving the Ministry of Health effective distribution and warehousing of pharmaceuticals. Despite this extra support, we learn regularly about places like Kolahun in Lofa County, Sanikure in Nima County, where clinics and hospitals must make do without even the most basic drugs. This is the most important part I wanted to point. Troublingly, embassies investigations indicate that not only are some citizens diverting public medical resources, and low-cost drugs for personal gains, but that babies, young children, and birthing mothers are dying needlessly as a result. This is a statement from the American Embassy, Maurice McCarthy. It's a verification of what is actually happening in rural communities.
Wow.
Places just on June 21st, Front Page Africa published a story and said that the health system of Liberia is crashing. And they visited Buchanan, the hospital right close to Monrovia, and all of the drugs that were there were expired drugs. What is happening in our country, what is happening in rural communities is extremely horrible. And people in the top part of our government may not know this because they probably receive information that everything is okay, but people are dying. Children maternity rate is high. People don't people don't have trust in the health system, and it is not a political thing. It's a thing that all of us have to make a stand and to be able to support to ensure that our country and our people have access to these things. The Sustainable Development Goals that was crafted by the United Nations, goal number 3 is access to good health for all. I don't think we're going to achieve that by 2030, especially in the case of Liberia.
It's not feasible.
It's not going to happen.
It
And
is not feasible.
yeah, I am in the States talking to people asking for help, and they're asking me, what you are doing this incredible job, but what is the Liberian people, your own people, doing for you that you're asking us to help? That's a very embarrassing question because I have never received, besides each of us that gave us 10 beds, I've never received $5, Henry, from anyone as a contribution and say, oh, let's help with what you're doing, because what we're doing is going to extend to other counties. But we just want to get this done and get it started so that we can be able to extend to other countries. Because the public system, I don't believe it can give us what we need. And we have to invest in the private system. And that's why people like us are around with 2 years without me asking anybody for anything. But it is about time now that we're reaching out to our people across the country, across in the diaspora, to help us so that we're able
Dennis,
to bring safe lives.
You are right. This is embarrassing. People, we need to help. What we do here, Dennis, is that we identify people and we help them. And people such as yourself who are doing remarkable things. We do that all the time here. We raise lots of money for different causes, many thousands of dollars, and helping to support your efforts would be something that would definitely would try to help. A good friend of mine just reached out to me to say that she wants me to link you guys up. She's a professional. She's a health care professional here in the States, and I will give you her contact after the show. She says she can help you greatly, and she can provide some medical beds and other equipment as well. So you see, some of those things that you want, you could get them from her, and then we'll find the money to ship them. We've done it. That's what we do here, Dennis. That's what we do here. We try to sow support for people such as yourself. I will put you in touch with her. Brother Stanley, kindly send me the number, Dennis, that we can send to Stanley so that he can contact your contact person on the ground so he can deliver that brand new microscope that he's talking about, medical microscope. Send me the number. I will put it right here. And folks, whatever way you want to help, we're here to facilitate that so that you can help Dennis. Okay, Dennis, I have the number. What's this person's name? So Stanley, if you're here, this is Dennis's contact person's number. What name shall I put that, Dennis?
I just sent that to you.
Okay, cool. Okay, good. Oh, that's Dennis's wife. So you can call her, Vera. If you are in Liberia, you want to help, you have something you want to help with, and you are in Liberia, you can contact her, and she will. So that is a number right there. You see it. I just shared it. Now, but Dennis, we can't let you leave the money. We're all doing something, man. We gotta do something that morning before you leave. I feel guilty. I feel bad that we're only doing this now when we've done so much for so many different. So then let's just take this down. Eh?
Yeah.
So let me remove that and bring it back here. So folks, we have to do something here this morning for Dennis before he leaves for the clinic. This is just incredible. For young man, a 1989 born, and I mean, it's just incredible. You could be doing so many other things. Dennis, what did you study in school?
I think agriculture, anyway.
Agriculture.
I have a degree in agriculture. I'm full time at the clinic. I'm no longer using that degree because I believe I'm making more impact with the clinic, and so
Clearly, Dennis, clearly. You're making much, much more impact with the clinic. You're saving lives. You're bringing quality and affordable healthcare services to thousands of people, over 8,000 people in the last. So, folks, we're going to put something together now this morning for Dennis, for the clinic. The Dan Vera Clinic, he and his wife started some 2 years ago up there in Sino County. They've served thousands and thousands of people and they continue to do that. My brother Pete McKennedy said he's sending $100. I'm going to provide Sister Winifred Johnson's number. That's where you're going to send the money. She has Cash App and Zelle, so I'm going to provide that right now. Let's do that. Let's raise a little bit of money here for this clinic this morning. This is not the fundraiser, and this is just we can't let you leave without doing something small this morning. We have to do that. So this is just our way of saying kudos and keep doing the good job. So that's the number right there, folks. For those of you listening on some of the other audio streaming apps, I'm going to have to call a number for you, Cash App and Zelle. Some Mata Sogan says she's sending $50 for the haircut. Trust me, Dennis was still not cut that hair. He's taking our hair back to Liberia. Dennis was still not money to the cleaning Mata, but thanks anyway. $50 to cut your hair? Oh my God. I drive all the way to Philadelphia, Dennis, to cut my hair. The gas alone in my gas guzzler is about 60, 70 bucks just to drive and go. And to cut my hair is 40 bucks. So that's over $100 to cut my hair every time. But because I like the way Molly Ma cuts my hair, you know, the other men ain't cut their hair too good, then you know what I mean? So
yeah, I saw one style you showed it last time, and everyone
was
laughing
at you. I know that all the style I was like, what style? Everybody was putting more on me. But anyway, this is a number. It's +1 763 568 8538. That's my sister's number. My sister Winifred Johnson's number. Please. My auntie Ella say, yeah, I'm gonna send the number to her. I'm sending it to her now. Everybody will chip in Sunday morning, Dennis. This is just incredible. What you're doing. An incredible young man. And I want to say, I want to particularly recognize and thank Big Brother Christopher Neal, a man for whom I have tremendous respect and admiration. You know, even though Dennis had been chatting with me for a period of time, when he had those bets and they were trying to raise money to take those bets up to Sino, he wrote me, we chatted a few times, but I'm always so overwhelmed, Dennis. Please forgive me. I'm always so overwhelmed. I have too many people coming to me for everything. You know, and sometimes we don't get to focus on the things that are much more important, such as what you are doing. You know, I mean, we do other things like we raise money, 10,000 a year, 8,000 a year, 9,000 a year. But then that's what we're all about. People think we're just here to talk politics, but that's not it, Dennis. We got to help good causes. Dennis, do you have a mobile money number? Somebody wants it in Liberia.
Yeah, I sent it to you on your.
Oh, the mobile money number?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a big brother of mine. He was born in Sino. In fact, he grew up there. You know, in that he grew up there in that ELW campus, on the ELW campus there. He sent him $50. Yeah, big brother William Bowie J. Ware. He's sending $50 right now. So we are doing something here. We're raising some money here. You know, we're doing that, folks. That's the number right there. $20, $30, whatever. This story is just incredible. So I want to thank Big Brother Chris Neal, because Dennis, even though Dennis had been in touch with me, but of course, as I said, for which I am sorry, and you know, I didn't give him the attention that he deserved and needed. But then Big Brother Neil wrote me an email and said, "Hey, Henry, I want to introduce you to this young man. He's incredible." And the moment he said that, coming from him and the fact that he said those things to me, I was like, "Okay, I want to know who this guy is." And that is how I realized, I know this man. And, you know, and then that's why we're here today. So let's raise some money, send it back there. Dennis did send me the mobile money number. That is correct. Yeah, the mobile money number is right here. So the mobile money number is right here. I'm going to put it there for those of you in Liberia. This is how you can send money to the mobile money number. You can send it to his personal number. Right there is Dennis Japa. You know, is that. So there you have it. It's right there. Mobile money. But the cash app is up there. My sister Winifred is on her way driving, so she can't be watching the phone right now, but she's going to see the money when she's going to receive the money, because people are sending money to her left and right. So this is just incredible. It's just incredible, Dennis. So what we're going to do is this. We're going to bring you on for an exclusive fundraising. This year is just our way of saying thank you for what you and your wife Vera do. We appreciate you guys. You're making a real impact. Dennis, that's all we're about, Dennis. All this talk you see us talking here, we don't mean harm. We just want to see our country do well. And people such as yourself who are quietly doing great things, you deserve our support in raising support for you, material and financial support, and you deserve exposure, which is what we're doing this morning. Thousands of people will hear of this incredibly inspiring story what you and your wife are doing. You know, you could have done so many other things. You are risking so much. You've made 37 trips over a long, drooling distance, terribly deplorable roads, transporting medical drugs and supplies to keep that clinic going, to save lives, to make your services affordable to the people who need them the most. And those are the people I care about the most, the people who need it the most. Your story, where you come from and where I come from, we share so much in common. But what you're doing is just incredible. And so we're here to support you. So we're going to set up a time that we bring you on. Let me think. We'll do it in September. We'll bring it back in September. You and I will coordinate. We'll bring it back in September, before the middle of September. We will do an exclusive fundraiser for you, for the Denver Clinic, to help you get some of those. We can also help you get some of those equipment, Dennis. Some of those things you say you need. I have a friend, Ebenezer Norman, who he and his colleagues there in Colorado raised over $1 million in medical supplies and equipment, and brand new, and shipped them off to Liberia. They needed to raise money to ship it, but we raised $10,000 on this platform as our contribution to ship those equipment. Norman might still have some of those equipment in Liberia. We might get some of those beds, some of those very essential medical equipment for you. And we might source them from other places and raise some money to keep you going. That's all we're about, Dennis. That's all we're about. Every day we pray to God to give us the means to do more. God, use us as instruments to be a blessing to people. That's exactly what you're doing, Dennis. So, folks, there is a number. Send in your little contribution. We can't let Dennis leave here this morning without doing something. And don't you ever for a second think that what you said may not be important. You heard Dennis. It's 4 gallons of gas in that motorbike to ride from Monrovia all the way up there to Sino. Imagine 4 gallons. You would be like, well, what's 4 gallons of gas? But guess what? 4 gallons of gas can transport all those equipment all the way up there. That's just incredible. I put in my money number. Yeah, it's right up here. So you just send your little thing to it, and your $20, $10, 15 bucks. The cash app is right here. You don't have to send a lot. You can send $5, $10, $15. Whatever you send can help them keep that clinic going. And sometime in September, hopefully before the middle of September. The reason I put you to September, Dennis, this month we're having a fundraiser for we're having a fundraiser for the Joseph Yuma Walker Foundation, and so we're doing it on the 23rd. We plan to do it on the 23rd, so we have to space it out. You know what I mean? So that we bring you when we can be able to do much more. But I trust our people. I know my people. They never let us down. So Dennis, we want to say I will call my sister. She says she was driving here to pick up something she has here. I'm gonna call her and find out whether she's been what her phone been going off. So Dennis, this is your first time to America, I take it?
Well, Henry, I've never traveled before. This was my first time riding plane.
So, wait, Dennis. This is your first time riding plane. I like that.
This is my first time first time leaving.
Oh, that's
Liberia.
very good. Oh, calling for an update. That's my sister. I'm on the phone with. She's receiving the cash app. She's receiving the money. The money is coming.
Okay. Thank you.
Good. All right, sis. You can give us an update before Dennis leaves, just so we can give him a particular number. Something that we received so far. Eh? All right. You can just text it to me. Bye bye. Yeah. So before you leave, Dennis, you will send us a message to let us know how much.
Henry, yes, I was.
But let's talk about your story. Thank you, my brother Jerome Jai. He just sent $50 to people. Are sending money all over the place.
I've never traveled before.
Never traveled before.
I've never left Liberia.
Never left Liberia before.
No. And the first time I ever had to ride a plane
was to come straight to America.
Is to come to the U.S. as a fellow. And somewhere in the plane, I was so afraid. I thought that I was falling. Because the plane is moving up there and nothing holding it unlike a car. When the car has a problem.
That thing has been perfected for so long. The odds of dying in a plane crash are extremely small. I think it's like 1 in 10 million or something.
Yeah, but imagine a 30-year-old man has never been on a plane before. So
obviously the first time I flew a plane. Okay, my first trip ever was to Guinea. The first trip I ever made out of Liberia was to go to Guinea. I went to Zurich and I went to Guinea. That was 2004, my first trip ever. And I don't have a lot of travel experience, but since that time, my first trip out of Liberia was to America. The first time I flew a plane was to America myself. This was 2012. Wow. 2012 was the first time I flew, and it was to the States. And since then, of course, I've been to other countries in Europe. I've driven across, but Dennis was saying see plenty of places here. He said, but you like it. Me, my first country I visited was the Guinea. You your first country in America. So
exactly.
You like it.
And sometimes there's a humorous part of me that I laugh with my friends. Mm-hmm. A lot of us in Liberia have never traveled before. So
most of us have never traveled before, Dennis.
Most times I have to laugh at my friends. I say, you guys are still sitting here and have traveled before all of you. So
exactly.
But it is. I also wanted to say you were talking about Mr. Neer. Mm-hmm. I actually met through LinkedIn. I have an active page on LinkedIn where I share my work and I share.
So that's how he connected with you?
Yeah, that's how we got connected. I don't know him. I've never met him before. But I shared my success story about coming to the States as a fellow, from where I started and how I got to where I am. And he was inspired by what I did.
Really was.
And that's how we got in communication. And as like I said, there's a time for everything, and God works in mysterious ways. If I had come to you earlier on, and if you had probably featured me earlier on, the gravity of what I do might not have been seen, because the fellowship is a verification that this is legitimate.
Yeah, that the impact is real. Because Dennis,
there's a measurable
impact. You read in our application, but I think the most important selling point that clinched this fellowship for you must have been, I'm presuming, Denver Clinic and the phenomenal work that you guys are doing there.
It is the only reason why I was
the impact, and the one people who are making impact.
Yeah, that's the only reason.
Yes, real tangible impact that's changing lives. So that is just incredible. Yeah, folks are still sending money. My sister just sent me an update. 235 so far, but people are still sending money. I still see people here writing. They're sending their money to the Cash App. Folks, there's the Cash App. It's 763-568-8538. I'm gonna call that number slowly again. 763-568-8538. That's the Cash App. Winifred Johnson is the name, and it's going to Denver Clinic, run by Dennis Japa and his darling wife Vera Japa, and it's incredible. All the way up there in Sino. It's just not some clinic in Monrovia. Dennis, the fact that you were, your mother told you of the conditions under which you were delivered, you were birthed. in 1989. October, you said, right?
October.
I remember that. And that story stuck with you. You could have, and you left Sino more than 25 years ago. You could have easily, like most people, it wouldn't bother you. You wouldn't even remember to say, but when you thought about setting up the clinic, it was on purpose. It was strategic. The strategic purpose was to help make a dent in that problem, that overall situation that everybody's been dealing with. So you wanted to help change that. We're going up to $300 now. You wanted to change that so that other people, other babies in Sino, where you were born, other Liberian children would not, because you see, where everybody should make the most impact is where they were born.
Yeah.
If each of us tries to make an impact in the community, the town, the space where we're born, then impact would be made all over the place. So you went back and you did this, with resources that I'm sure you had to put together. How long did it take you to organize all the resources to start this clinic, Dennis? I didn't ask you that.
I really don't like to talk about that, but this is it. So, my wife and myself, at the time, we were still boyfriend and girlfriend. Um, I was working. I was working with a clinic, and my wife was working with IRC. And so, when I told her about that, and then we both agreed that we'll save one person's salary, and then use the other person's salary for the running of our home because we're only two. And so, in 2 years, we were able to save about $7,000. Interestingly, our target was to raise 15,000.
But you went to 50%
Yes.
mark.
So we have $7,000 on the 20 on the on April, January 29, 2020. We had that amount of money in the bank, and we were both out at work when we were called that our home had been gutted by fire.
Are you kidding?
Exactly. I mean, my friends on Facebook and other people know this. So our home got gutted by fire. Before we got home, everything was burned. We had the choice to make between using that money to find another apartment to start our lives over,
So the
or
money you had saved up for 2 years,
yes,
you had to jump in that money.
it wasn't burned. It was in the bank. It was in an account.
No,
But
I didn't say it was burned, but then you had a personal disaster.
yeah, yeah,
And you had to cater to.
and so the target was $15,000 because to start a clinic you need at least $15,000. So we had to make a choice between starting now rather than keeping saving the money or using the money and then starting all over. And that's why I say my wife is supportive because for a woman to agree to go to my sister's place to stay there for over 6 months while I was in
So you had to go
Cyprus.
live with your sister so that you wouldn't touch the money.
Exactly. And then we had to
Wow.
use that money, got across, talk to
I like
other
how you say we men we can live anywhere, but the women
exactly. So we had and so 7,000 was too small. So we had to go and I had to get across local health facilities in Mongolia. One of them is Albert, on 21, right directly opposite JFK. When I appealed to them and say, listen, I don't have money to buy new equipment. Can you please sell to me used equipment that you have? They accepted. They sold to me a microscope, a chemistry analyzer, a few other equipment. We were not able to buy the actual, the real hospital beds. So we had to go and look at it, talk to
improvise.
carpenters to fix the wooden beds. That's why I mentioned before that we once sometime patient were receiving a case treatment and the bed crushed one of them because they were made locally. And we needed to change those beds. And God help us here that we saw what we were doing and say, oh, this thing. They were changing their beds and said, let's come and collect 10 of these beds. And so we were able to get them to even transport them, Henry. It cost about $75 because 25 to transport one bed from Monrovia to Buchanan, and then we have to use the canoe from Buchanan to Sino, which cost us about $50. So we had to transport 10 of those beds, about $750. So that's how we raised the money from our savings, our salaries. One person's salary was kept in 2 years.
You live off of one person's salary for 2 years,
save the other person's salary for the same period,
Yeah.
and still you couldn't reach the 100% mark. You're at
But because
50% of
we would have taken time to raise the other money if we did not have the fire incident. And so the fire incident was there. It became like we had to make a decision immediately, either to use the money to start up, find
to
a new
readjust
apartment,
yourselves.
or to go and stay with someone and then use the money to start a clinic. And we took the harder one to start the clinic. Especially starting the clinic during the COVID crisis. That thing was most difficult to start the clinic during COVID because at the time, most businesses were scaling down, staffs were being reduced by a lot of areas, businesses were crushing, and to start a facility or start a clinic at that time and to survive, it was more of the grace of God. There were times we really thought that we took the wrong decision to start up a clinic, uh, because you cannot start a new clinic and start to ask people for help. You needed to survive on yourself and on your own. And
Precisely.
I still had to go back and had to resign my job to start a clinic. And we still had to go back to my wife and say, listen, we still have to go back into one of your salary and cut some to cover up for some expenses. Even gas, right now, fuel in Sino is about 1,400
Per gallon.
gallon, and we need to burn like 4 gallons every day just on fuel.
Dennis, when we help you raise that money in September, you will need to consider looking into solar panel.
Yeah,
It's really good.
Those are options but solar panel is expensive.
Yes, the initial investment.
Yeah.
It is. But you know what you can do? You don't have to start big. You can run a hybrid program or a hybrid thing. Part solar, part generator.
Yeah.
You see, so the solar can help you cut your costs in terms of gasoline.
Sure.
We'll look into that. I have a guy, he's great, he does it. He's my technician. And yeah, we can look into that. You can set up a solar thing for you. It will save you thousands of dollars a day. I think, Dennis, I believe we are now at $400. Well, I think we are more than that. Yeah. So let's Sister Winifred, check your Cash App and Zelle and give us the total before we leave. Good. That's very, very good. Okay. A sister of mine, Christine Mako, just sent $100. So let Sister Winifred give us the total before we leave, Dennis. You see, I told you we're going to do something before you leave here. So you should look into solar. I sent you the number for my sister who I said she will help with equipment and stuff. She's a healthcare professional here in the States. She can help you with equipment and in other ways as well. So we will get the total just now from Sister Winifred. We should be at the 500 mark before we leave. And then you and I will keep in touch, and then we'll bring you back here by mid-September. We will not do it on the show in the morning. Normally, the way we do it, we do the afternoon. That time, we're going to bring Vera on. We're going to bring your wife on. You will be back in Liberia then, right, Dennis?
Yes, I'm back in Liberia on the 3rd of August.
Good. Yeah. So we'll do that. Yeah. So Dennis, do you have somebody who has a Cash App or Zelle? How do we send the money to you? All the money we raised this month.
I want to be sent to Liberia tomorrow.
You want to send to Liberia?
Yeah.
Does the madam have SendWave mobile money?
Yes, I can arrange that.
Okay, sure. So once you have mobile money, we can SendWave the money to her.
Yeah, I can arrange that.
Yeah, so just provide me that, her her mobile money number and the thing. I will send it to my sister Winifred, and then she will send the money to her. Easy, man. SendWave make it easy, man.
Yeah. I've received money through SendWave too.
Good. All right, Dennis. So thank you so much, and keep doing what you're doing. And we look forward to speaking with you again soon, sometime in September. So, folks, y'all remember we're gonna bring Dennis and his wife Vera back here in September, and we're gonna raise money for the clinic to help them, money and equipment, material support, financial support. We're gonna do that in September. Thank you so much, Dennis. Any final words before we take leave of you?
Thank you, Big Brother Henry, and I'm actually excited and humbled by being on your platform. God has His own way for our lives, and I believe we are making an impact, and what we do is so important, and we want everyone to be able to rally with us so that we can be able to take quality healthcare service to rural community dwellers, and that women and children can have access to standard health services. I also want to make an appeal to the Sano community in the U.S. I know there's an association that is in the U.S. Um, for us to be able to collaborate and to help to impact what we do, Liberians across our country, whether in the diaspora or in Liberia, to support the work that we do, because people back home are dying. There's no better way to say this.
True.
People back home are dying, and it doesn't. It, we cannot continue to focus on ourselves and sometimes forget about those little things that matters, because that is what we're going to all be remembered for. How we help to save lives is one of the most fundamental things I think anyone can achieve. And so we'll just need your support, and I'm looking forward to um, networking. I'm on Facebook as Dennis G. Chapa. I'm on LinkedIn as Dennis Chapa. You can connect with us and please to see how we can be able to do more than what we're doing, because I can't do this on my own. I mean, it's not about me. It's not about the clinic. It's about our people back home for us to help them and save lives. That's all. That's all I have interest in. And I believe that by the end of this year, we should be able to begin delivery services. We should be able to extend the clinics to other counties where the need is, because we are not profit driven, and that's one of the things that discourages a lot of people who want to help or want to invest, because we don't believe in profits. We're focused on impact. All we try
Yeah.
to do is
People
team.
who are looking to make a return in terms of financial
Yeah,
return would not invest in
yeah,
you. But we're
yeah.
not looking to make a financial return. We're just looking to see you
I don't,
expand
I
your
don't, I don't,
services.
I don't want to get rich either from the clinic. So if I will get rich or if I will get money, it should be from something else, but not from the clinic. So thank you so much for this opportunity, and I look forward to. And I also know that the 26th is coming. There will be a lot of Liberians independence celebration around. I'm hoping that those that are organizing that can afford us at least an invitation to talk to some of the Liberian communities, so that we can be able to do more awareness on what to do. Because I'll be here for the 26th, and
Okay.
I'm leaving for Liberia on the 3rd of August. Thank you so much.
That's very good. Speaking of the Signer County Association, they had a convention this weekend in Massachusetts, and Stanton Weatherspoon, my friend, was the guest speaker, the keynote speaker. He donated $10,000 to them. I will have him send some of that money to sign that I hit home. So he giving them $10,000. I don't know what they're gonna do. And I'm not gonna say they're not doing anything with it, but I'm gonna say he has to send some of that money to Denver Clinic in Sino. Damn it. Standing was born in Yuan Panton, somewhere there. I don't know what he else than to sign in. I like to tease you about where you grew up. Yuan Panton. All right, Dennis. Thank you so much, and God bless you, and may God continue to bless the work of your hand.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you.
Bye bye. Well, folks, there you have it. This is the Costa Show you've been listening to, the nation's premier platform where we discuss the issues that matter. I'm Henry Pedro Costa, and this is how we like to bring this to an end. Have yourselves a beautiful, blessed day. Bye bye.